What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of the Dirty and Driven podcast. I'm sitting here, joined by my boy Nick. We are ready to make some podcast magic happen. Nick, what's up, man?
Hey, man. Glad to be here. Just enjoying my day. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah, it is, baby. It's nice, hot, humid outside. We're about to go jump in the lake on this fine Saturday. We're sitting here coming at you live from Ponca City, America, Oklahoma. We're sitting in my, what should be a dining room, but I currently am a bachelor living by myself, so I just threw a bunch of guitars up on the wall, so if you get some background noise, it's because we're not professionals. We don't have a professional studio. Anyways, you guys are probably sitting here thinking, what in the world is Dirty and Driven? Is this a sex podcast? No, it is not, contrary to popular belief. It is, This is a podcast for those of you out there in the blue-collar world that want to better your lives, or anybody, really, that wants to better their lives, but mainly focused towards the blue-collar people. We are blue-collar guys ourselves. A couple things that we are about: the working man who's committed to working hard for a living, who's all for the toughest, dirtiest jobs out there. It's for the dirty and driven people who want to better their lives in the health and fitness space, who, even though they work hard, dirty jobs, then they're out there putting work in the gym, eating right, doing all that good stuff, and teaching people how to do that and getting better every single day. It's for people with big dreams, but they still just love the little things of life, like laying pipe and building roads. And it's also just for the men and women out there who just want to be better people, better fathers, husbands, wives, wherever you're at in life, just to make you better. This is just for the blue-collar people who want to be better in life. So, Nick, dude, what's the dirtiest job you ever had, man?
Man, I gotta say, I've had a lot in my life, but if I could pick just one here recently, so I've had plenty in my life. I've got a pretty diverse background, farming and ranching. I've had several that I can name, but if I had to just pick one here recently, got off work. I still run some cows and calves and went out, checked some, and so if any of you guys out there know what I'm talking about, sometimes you get some cattle down in the pond, and every once in a while one of them gets stuck down there. That's not what anyone wants to see. So me being the entrepreneur and person I am, you got to get in there and get that cow out, or you're going to lose $1,500. So I stripped down to my underwear and get in that pond and run a strap underneath that cow, and I'm swimming with snakes and moss and all kinds of pond weeds and stuff, and I hate my life when I'm in there. It's just, it's terrible. But you just got to get in there and get it done and run that strap underneath there and get it up to the bank of the pond and hook it up and pull that cow out, and I ended up saving it, but man, it sucks getting in there. If you've never done it, then power to you, because it's awful.
How many times have you had to do that?
Well, I'd say a couple of times in my life, but that one right there was probably the worst, just because, I'm not a big fan of snakes. I don't know about you guys out there, but whenever you see snakes swimming a couple yards away from you, it's not the most comforting feeling in the world.
I hate snakes, dude. There's one thing in this world that I do not like. It is snakes. All right, yeah, dude. My dirtiest job, so quick background on me. I'm a road guy. I've built roads, highways, all that. Been doing it for 5 years. I love laying asphalt. I also love laying pipe and all that. And my girlfriend just looked at me, or fiance, sorry. It just looked at me with a weird look. Anyways, we have a live studio audience. Anyways, laying pipe and all that. But the dirtiest is one time this guy that works at our asphalt plant decided that he was going to leave some valves undone overnight. He blamed it on some kids, but we all knew better. So he leaves these valves open overnight, and we come back, and the spill pit is flooded with liquid asphalt oil. Now, anybody out there who's ever worked with liquid asphalt oil knows that it is about like taffy. And it has the consistency of taffy. And whenever it gets cool, it hardens up and it's kind of easy to clean. But whenever this happens in the middle of the summer, as soon as that sun peeks out on that, it is absolute hell trying to clean that up. And I had to sit there for days shoveling that out. And went home and absolutely pissed my mother off because I was still living with her at the time. And I washed all of my work clothes in her washing machine covered in asphalt oil, and that white washer and dryer was black the next day. So wouldn't recommend that, dude. It was disgusting. I literally drove home. I get back to my truck. They wouldn't even give me a ride in the company trucks back to the shop. I had to walk all the way back from our plant, which is a pretty good little hike to clock out. And in the parking lot, I stripped down to my underwear and drove home in my underwear. It was so freaking gross. I mean, and that stuff sticks to everything. It's not like dirt or mud where you just knock it off. I mean, it is stuck to you, and diesel's all over you, and it is just a nightmare. That's definitely the dirtiest I've had to do.
Sounds like a couple similarities in our dirtiest jobs, just different materials.
Different materials, same uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of us had to strip down to our underwear. So that's kind of the first point. We like guys that do the dirtiest of jobs. I know that some of you out there probably have way worse stories than that, but those are ours. The next thing that we're big on is health and fitness. Nick and I both take great pride in our physique, and I mean, not that we're just jacked freaking dudes, but we both work out and really pay attention to our health, what we eat, or at least try to. I mean, not saying we're perfect. We're sitting here. I'm sipping on a Corona. Nick's drinking a Truly, so he's trying to be health conscious.
You bet. Counting those calories every day.
But I think that's just because it's what was in the fridge. He's about to bust up on one of them Twisted Teas, but but yeah. So we're both pretty health conscious for the most part. And I mean, Nick, what's kind of your fitness routine look like, especially working around your cattle operation and all that?
So here recently, I've kind of switched to I'm more on a pretty standard routine of a little bit of extra background on me. I'm a loan officer, so I work 9 to 5 basically. So most of my day is spoken for. But once I get off work, I go out to the ranch. I've got a bottle calf now, so I have to feed it in the morning, and I feed it right after work, and go out check cattle and kind of do anything else that needs to be done day to day. It kind of differs, but I try to budget my time to where I'm out of there by 7:30, and then at least dedicate an hour, maybe an hour and a half a day to either go work out. I usually go Monday to Friday. I don't try to work out on the weekends. Go Monday to Friday.
You do those 12-ounce girls on the weekends.
Yeah, I like to partake in a little bit of beer drinking myself. I know you guys out there will raise a fist to that one. But yeah, I try to dedicate about an hour and a half a day to go either lift weights or just go walk, do a little jog, something to just kind of stimulate my mind and just kind of try to better myself every day. So it's gone pretty well for me. It's sticking to routines. That's definitely a way to get into it even like a week of it, it kind of sticks to you, and you have your off days, but most of the time, once you establish it, it's pretty easy to stick to unless some things come up. But yeah, it's been pretty easy once I got my routine established.
Yeah, and I'm kind of similar. I try to do mine in the morning because I go to work at 7, and most of the time I don't really know when I'm getting off. I mean, I kind of have I work in the office quite a bit, so a lot of times I'm off by 5, but there are days where if it hits the shan and you got to get out and someone hits a utility line or machine breaks down or whatever, and we got to get out there and help them out, and the guys are out there late, and I don't always like leaving early whenever our crew's out there working hard. So I just try to get it done in the morning, because if I don't get off work till, say, 7, 8 o'clock, then I don't want to go to the gym after that.
Yeah, dude, those are the toughest days when you just overloaded and you just don't have time afterwards. It's just the grit of it is just getting it, just allocating that time to go get it done.
Yeah. So what's kind of your food routine look like? I mean, I know that me personally, I try to eat a pretty hearty breakfast and all that, and then, just get ready for the day's activities. And then I try to eat a pretty big lunch as well, and I actually try to keep it a little bit smaller at dinner just because I usually don't eat until I'm, going to bed. So a lot of people in this world It is White Monster and bag of chips. I try to avoid that stuff.
Yeah, can't forget the sunflower seeds, the paydays, the Snickers.
Hey, sunflower seeds ain't too bad. I'm not mad at that sunflower seeds.
The food roller. You can't forget about those.
Yeah, dude, roller dogs, man. Oh, I hate those things. I know a lot of people love those Tokitos and Tornadoes and all that good stuff. But
hey, man, I'm not out here to talk shit on them. Just they're good. Don't get me wrong, but
they're not bad.
They're not the best for.
They're dangerous.
Try to keep a healthy diet.
Yeah. No, that's something that we're going to break down some future episodes. That's something I'm passionate about is health and fitness, and even the lightest of ways. I mean, just small change over time is kind of what we like to introduce, and not saying any of that stuff's even bad necessarily to eat, but we just try to teach and preach moderation and try to get people to make better choices whenever they can. It's not always easy, especially whenever you're working outside, and your only option may be a 7-Eleven that's 3 miles from the nearest town, and you're on a road crew or something. You don't have time to go get anything worth eating. So yeah, we'll kind of break that down, but not right now. So next point is Dirty and Driven is for people who have big dreams, still want to enjoy the simple things of life. I think that pretty well engulfs you and I, because I think both of us have huge dreams of what we want to do and places we want to see and things we want to accomplish, but yet we really love doing just everyday stuff like working and tinkering and even down to mowing and all that good stuff. I think that you and I really enjoy doing that. We like working with our hands and
yeah, we're definitely jacks of all trades. I can't believe the things we do for just a little bit extra money, but I mean, don't take that the wrong way, guys. That's not that is not what I meant.
$20 $20,
yeah,
man.
No, I guess so, but
yeah. So, I mean, like Nick and I, we both kind of do a lot of side hustles. We actually just started a junk clearing business on the side. I mean, in addition to everything else, Nick, like he said, is a loan officer. I work in the road construction business together, and we both have our own side ventures. He's got his agriculture. I've actually got some rent houses that I work on, and that's kind of my side business. But for some reason, we decided to also start a junk clearing business, so that's been kind of fun, I guess. We got one good job. We just started it last week. But we're always out there just scheming and trying to come up with stuff and trying to be better and achieve big things in our life. I mean, we're trying to get ahead right now. And that's what the show's for, is just people who want to get better.
Yeah, I got to say, it's not easy trying to get started with stuff. It definitely, I mean, it's got its fair share of stress, just like anything does, but it's just the time and effort and routine you got to put in to get to that point. You have to struggle with almost anything unless you get lucky at the beginning.
Yeah, and we're not even just talking about side ventures and stuff like that. Like in your own career, I mean, Nick and I both have worked from pretty well the lowest point on the totem pole to kind of mid-level positions. So we're here to help people develop those skills, those leadership skills, because we believe that everybody on a job site or working in a crew or anything is a leader. Whether you just started today as a laborer or you have been doing this for 20 years and you're foreman, everybody's a leader. And we are here to help people who are driven and want to develop those skills. And, let's say from my perspective, you join a dirt moving company or an asphalt company or something like that, and you start off as a laborer and you say, man, my goal is to be an operator, it's to be a foreman, and this company doesn't really teach me the way I want to. They don't really have a design program to help me do that. Well, we're here to just tell you how you can do that and what some options are and what route you can take to achieve your goals, whatever those goals may be.
And like you just said, dude, it doesn't have to be exactly like what we're talking about, like the specific career path or anything. It can be anything. It's just kind of we're going to talk about what our experiences are and how we've overcome certain challenges or points in our business ventures, but it needs to apply to anything. It's not just what we do for a living. It's what you guys do, and you can take that you could mold that into however it may help you.
Yeah, and that, like I said, that applies to anybody and everybody. And also just learn how to enjoy the little things in life. I mean, we don't work to live. We don't live to work. We work so we can live. Got that butchered. But I mean, we also enjoy other things outside of work. I mean, that's what we do a lot. I mean, work takes up most of our time. We are at work more than we are at home. But, I mean, outside of work, we like to do a lot of fun stuff. Like we said, a lot of times outside of work is just more work for ourselves. But that's what we love to do. But I think that we also enjoy stuff like fishing and tinkering with stuff. Like, I mean,
I mean, I'm no hunter by any means. I love hunting, but I'm not a diehard like some people are. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm more of a, James, you're more on that end of it. I'm more of a mechanical guy. I like tearing stuff apart and fixing it.
Yeah, we've had a 42 Chevy we started working on years ago, and that's going to be one of those forever projects. But hopefully we can start making some progress on that.
Could be a forever project. We'll see.
Yeah, one of these days we'll get there, but those things are expensive and time consuming. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of some stuff that we love to do, so we'll talk about all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're not just going to sit here and say you got to work. We also like to enjoy life. I mean, like I said earlier, we're getting ready to go float in some water, maybe hop in a kayak or paddleboard and float around on the lake on this 100-degree day. This is probably the hottest it's going to have been this year so far today.
Yep, 106.
And it is humid.
Yeah, just got a couple inches of rain. It is going to be a hot sucker outside today. So.
Not inside that water, though. Oh,
no.
Yeah, baby. So the last kind of point that we want to hit is we just want to help develop better men, better women in this world. There's a lot of strong people, but there's also a lot of weak people right now, and we just want to help everybody become better people. I mean, I can't always really speak for the women out there. We're going to speak this from our perspective, and we just want to see better men, especially. I think that right now we're lacking in strong men, and we just want to see people get better in their relationships and better, like I said, better fathers and better husbands and better friends, better neighbors, better countrymen, everything that you can be, better employees, better employers. We just want to see people get better. That is what we're all about. We love watching people win, seeing people win, because if everybody's winning, then us as a country and as a world, we all win from that. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're not some cheesy self-help guru people either. Like we're not the guys that you see on YouTube that are like standing in front of Ferrari and they're like, buy my program for only 6 low payments at $997.
Yeah, we're not out here. We're not out here to sell you some kind of advice. We're talking from real experience, talking with real people. You know, I mean, James, you and I are. I mean, we're as real as you can get with what we're going to talk about here. There's no bullshit on this. It's just a cut and dry, like what we do, how we've made ourselves better, and then how hopefully maybe we can inspire even one person to become better.
Yeah,
so.
And we're going to have some cool guests on here. We really are. We got guys that some of them are working out in the construction world. They're foremen or they're journeymen or they started off as a laborer. Now they're in like an inspector role or whatever. We're going to have some really awesome people out here. There's some cool people that I've got lined up, and they're all real people. That they started from the bottom. They didn't inherit anything. They didn't do anything. You know, they worked from the bottom and they bettered their lives. And they're just driven, determined people to get better in all aspects of their life. And they are just great people. So we're really looking forward to some of the guests we have. A couple of different show types we're going to have. Sometimes it's going to be me and Nick just ripping on a microphone about whatever topic we want. Or it may be about nothing. We may just get on here and bullshit because that's what we like to do. It may be, like I said, full-length show with a guest. And sometimes it might be me for a couple minutes. Sometimes we might have some guest co-hosts on here, like my beautiful fiance Victoria, because she likes to get on here and pick apart everything we're doing and tell us where we're wrong, and she's not afraid to say it. And anything else, just we're gonna have awesome people. So we're looking forward to what's coming. If you like this show, we just ask that you keep following us. We are gonna have more. Like I said, we're gonna get to a point we're gonna probably release an episode weekly. We are on social media. Right now we're not on there in a high capacity, but we will be coming up. The Instagram is probably the best place to reach us. Dirty and Driven, spelled out, Dirty and Driven. You can follow me at JL Deviney, DEVINNEY. Nick, where are they following you at?
You can follow my personal page. It's Nick, Nick Liegerot, Liegerot. That's my personal page. Give me a follow if you have any questions. Reach out to us. I'm super excited. This is obviously, like, we're starting out. We're not professionals or anything. We're not in a high-class studio. We're literally in a neighborhood inside James's house. So, anyways, super excited about what's coming here. We're going to have some awesome people come talk with us. I'm excited to hear what their insight is, too, because we like hearing about other people's stories as well. So, anyways, stick around for that. And like I said, I'm super excited. So, I hope you guys follow along and give us a try.
Yeah, Nick, so before we end here, you got any other fun stories, anything random, any other tidbits?
Man,
dude, you went to the rodeo last night. You got to have one good story from last night.
the only thing I can think of, I mean, last night wasn't just a barn burner, is what I would call it. Pretty regular night. 101's usually pretty crazy around here. I mean, it used to be when we were a little bit younger, back 18, 19 years old, it might have been a little bit crazier.
Might have seemed crazier, but it wasn't crazier.
Yeah, I mean, last night was pretty cut and dry, other than people out there in the arena in the blow up bubbles that were getting chased around by the ride bulls. And
those big old clear bubbles.
Big old inflatable bubbles. One of them got punctured, and that guy was running around in a punctured bubble, still chasing that bull. And they're like, "Hey, you get the hell out of the arena! You're gonna get hurt."
Oh, that's pretty funny. Dang, dude, you got any good jokes?
Not any I want to tell on here.
Not any you want to tell on here. All right, we'll work on that. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We're gonna go sit in the lake.